I had an audition with Foreigner in the 80s and almost got the gig. Oh, it was close. But the funniest thing was I got in, I had charted out all 3 of their albums, so I had a folder with me and it had every song that they had charted out. So, you know, they said, well, what do you want to try? I said, well, anything off your first 3 albums, because they hadn't released the 4th one yet. And so he said, all right, how about Cold as Ice? So I start. Then the band comes in. So, well, hold on. I said, we do that in E flat. And I said, oh, it was in E on the record. Yeah, I know, we recorded it in E, but on the road we do it in E flat. We tune down to E flat. And I said, oh, okay. He said, well, what else do you want to do? I said, well, I'll try that. He said, you're going to transpose it? And I said, well, I'll give it a shot. And he said, we've got a Scala. So I fumbled through that. And when we were done, I went over to the cooler. It was pre-1989. So I went over to get a beer. And I stuck my hand in the cooler. There was 1 beer left. And Dennis Elliott, the drummer, was sticking his hand in for that last beer, too. And so I pulled my hand back out. And I said, oh, go ahead, man. And he said, I want this guy in the band. A few months later, Foreigner came to town to play over in St. Paul, and Rick Wills, the bass player, called me, and he said, yeah, Gregg, he said, we're playing over at St. Paul Civic Center. If you'd like to come over to the show, you know, backstage pass. And I said, I'd love to, Rick, but I'm working. He said, oh, where are you working? And I said, well, a little place over in Hopkins called the Hopkins Bowl. He said, would a limo driver know where it was? He said, well, I'll just tell her to go out crosstown west to Shady Oak Road, go north, and you'll run right into it in the downtown Hopkins. All of a sudden, Rick Wills and the drummer, Dennis Elliott, and then a couple of the sidemen all came into the club. And I don't know if you ever saw this episode of The Little Rascals, but there was a Little Rascals episode where Alfalfa was on the radio, and all the kids were on this bank of phones calling in to vote for him. I want to vote for Alfalfa. I want to vote for Alfalfa. Well, they had a line of phones in the bowling alley next to the club, and they were all calling their friends, get down here, Foreigner's here. Get down here, Foreigner's here. And in 45 minutes, the place was packed. And we probably did 6, 7, 8 Foreigner tunes off their first 3 albums. And we didn't do their big hit, Waiting for a Girl Like You. And we ended up having Dennis Elliott come up and play drums, and Rick Wills come up and play bass. And we did all our Foreigner songs with Foreigner's rhythm section. It was pretty cool.